Class, we are doing 3.2 warm-up, which is Scott's workout, and we're also going to do the lesson. Okay, so we started this idea in the last lesson of looking at recursive and explicit form. We're going to continue to look at those and how they pertain to a geometric and arithmetic sequence. So as a reminder, in the previous lesson, when we were adding the same number each time, that was an arithmetic sequence. When we are multiplying the previous term, that is going to be a geometric sequence. So let's go ahead and look at this. Scott has decided to add push-ups to his daily exercise routine. He keeps track on the number of push-ups he completes each day in the bar graph below, with the day one showing he completed 3 push-ups. Very impressive. After 4 days, Scott is certain he can continue this pattern of increasing the number of push-ups he completes each day. So if we look at this, how many push-ups will Scott do on day 10? So he is talking about a specific day. So on the 10th day, how many will he have completed? Well, let's look at this. He did 3, then he did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, and then 9, and he's going to continue that pattern through day 10. So if we figured this out, I am trying to figure out how many he will have completed on day 10. So let's go ahead and look at this. If we continue this pattern, it's basically saying, well, I already know on day 3, day 1 he did 3, and he's increasing by 2 each and every time. So that means if there's like an imaginary day 0, like what was his original initial amount, that means there would have only been 1. So it's kind of like my y-intercept. So, and I know I'm adding 2 each day. So he's adding 2 each day. He's going to do it on the 10th day. Well, that would give me 20. And I'm going to add that 1 block of basically it would be my initial on day 0. So that would be a total of 21 push-ups. So it says, how many push-ups will Scott do on day N? I'm going to show you 2 ways on how to do this. One on what we're used to, which would just be, well, the amount of push-ups he can do on a given day is he's doing 2 additional ones per day plus the initial one he had. Okay. The other way to look at this is, what if we didn't look at this value right here? And it was just f of n, and it's like, okay, well, I know I'm doing 2 from the previous day, but I'm not actually starting on day 0. I'm starting on day 1. So I'm going to put n minus 1, and that just takes into account of, hey, just multiply this by the previous amount of days, and we're going to add this initial stage. We're going to add f of 1, which is 3 push-ups. Okay? Now, some of us might be thinking like, well, how does that work? But if you look at this method, and in pink, if I simplify this by distributing the 2, this would give me 2n minus 2 plus 3. This still gives me 2n plus 1. So it's the same as the original. It's just kind of looking at this in this context. So it says I am doubling 2, or I'm adding 2 from the previous day, plus on day 1 I had the 3 on it. Okay? So let's go ahead and model this. Okay? If I were to model this, we can go ahead and start off either one. I'm going to start off, let's see, we are going to have days and push-ups. I'm going to put a little star on day 0 and say we did 1 push-up. But it's kind of weird, like how do you do 1 push-up on day 0? So we can say that's like the initial. But like, let's go and say here, on the first day I did 3. Second day I did 5. On the third day I did 7. And you can really start to see the pattern that each and every day that goes by, I am adding additional 2 push-ups. So here, we're going to start on day 1. We have 3. Day 2, I have 5. Day 3, I have 7. And you can see my slope, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1, up 2 over 1. And finally on day 6, up 2 over 1. Now if you wanted to graph day 0, we could, I guess. I'll go ahead and put that in pink just so we know it's a little different. So this is the total amount of push-ups. And right here in this space, it's just to express on what I'm doing here. And I was just using the formula f of x, or f of n, is equal to 2 times x minus 1 plus 3. Okay? So let's go ahead and look at this now. We're going to look at the recursive. And if you remember, what the recursive is saying is, essentially in words, to get to my current term, what I do is I looked at my previous term, and what did I do to my previous term? So let's look at here. I was at 1 to get 3, 3 to get 5, 5 to get 7. What did I do to get 9? Well, I took 7 and I added 2 to it. What did I do to get to 11? I looked at my previous term and I added 2 to it. So on this one, what we're doing is we went to our previous term and we added 2 to it. So let's go ahead and look at this. They told us to define our variables as n. So we will continue doing that. So to get to my current term of f of n, what I did is I looked at my previous term, the solution to my previous answer, and all I did was add 2 to it. This is different. The previous recursive one, we were multiplying each of the previous ones by like 2 or like by 3, I believe. No, I was doubling it the previous one. I was doubling it by 2. Here, I'm adding 2 in this lesson, okay? So now let's go ahead and look at this. In recursive, you need to tell me, where do I start? What was my starting point? Now, you don't need to write start or your initial, but I'm writing this right here. And in this word problem, in this instance, we did not start at 0 days. In fact, it told us we started off at day 1. So basically, it's telling me, hey, I am starting off at day 1, and on day 1, I did a total of 3 push-ups. And now I need to look at my explicit one. Explicit is basically our y equals mx plus b when we're doing an arithmetic, when we're adding the same value to the previous term to get to my current term. So to get to my current value, what I need to do is figure out what day I'm at, and I'm going to multiply that by 2. And what I'm going to do then is, since I didn't start at 0, I started on day 1, so I need to like go back a day, so I'm not over counting that. And on the initial day, what I'm doing is adding 3. I started off with 3, okay? Now, if you did simplify this and wrote it as this, I would also accept this as a correct answer because this is what it simplifies to. So students ask, well, do I write it in the context or do I write it in the simplified form? I would accept either one, okay? So now it says, Allie is also including her push-ups in her workout and says she does more push-ups than Scott because she does 15 push-ups every day. Which of the following day will Scott do more push-ups than Allie? So, let's go ahead and look at this now. Well, I know that she does 15. So there's a few ways to look at this. It is saying that she is always doing 15 a day. Well, so if we were to look at Allie, it's like we have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. She's just doing 15, 15, 15, 15. It does not change. Okay. It says, which day will Scott do more push-ups? Well, let's see this. I know that Scott's given push-ups is 2n plus 1. And I want to figure out on what day he will do 15 push-ups. Okay? Because in which day will Scott do more? Well, this is when it'll be the same. So if I minus 1 at 2n equals 14, and when I divide both sides by 2, I'm going to get n equals 7. That means on the 7th day, Allie and Scott will do the same amount. Well, I know Scott started off with less. He was doing 3, then 5, then 7, then 9, so on and so forth. And I know on day 7, they're doing the same. Which means on day 8, Scott will do more push-ups. Okay, now this is a good part. It says how many, not push-ups, how many total push-ups will they have each done on by day 3 and by day 6? Okay, so I'm not looking at an individual day. I'm looking at all their combined push-ups. So let's start here with Scott. So Scott, he started off doing on day 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he started off doing 3, then 5, then 7. Then he did 9, 11, 13. And it says, well, how many push-ups did he do after 3 days? Okay, well, 3 plus 5 is 8. 5 plus 7 is 15. So on day 3, Scott was 15. And on day 3, this is Scott, Allie was 45. Because if we remember, she's just doing 15 push-ups every day. So she did a total of 45. So now let's look at this. I want to add up the total of all of these. Now you could just do 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9, so on and so forth. But a pattern that will help us out in a little bit, if we just add these. 3 plus 13 is 16. Oh my goodness, 5 plus 9 is 16. 7 plus 9 is also 16. So I basically just did 16 times 3. And what would that, 30 plus 18, 48. So that would give me 48 push-ups on day 3, or day 6. So day 6, Scott did a total of 48. While Allie is doing 45 a day, or excuse me, 15 a day, and 15 times 6 is 90. So Allie day 6 is doing 90 push-ups. So now it says, on which day will the total number of push-ups be the same? How many push-ups will they have done on this day? So we're talking about the total amount of push-ups. All right then, so let's go ahead now and look at this. Allie has just a nice linear equation, okay? So let's go ahead, we'll just start off at day 6. And so she was at 45. Nope, she was at 90. And then we're going to do 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We're just going to go up from there. So this will be like 105, 120, 135. This will be 150. This will be 165, 170, 195, and 210. Okay, so really quickly, guys, that is the total amount she did each day. She's only doing 15 push-ups per day, and she's doing, this is the total amount. Scott, on the other hand, on day 6, he completed 48, and he just added 13 to his total. So this is going to be day 7, day 8, day 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So right here now, what we're going to do, if I added 13 on the previous one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 15 to get a total of 63. I'm going to add 17 to get a total of 80. I'm going to add 19 to get a total of 99. Okay, then I'm going to add 21 to get a total of 120. Then I'm going to add a total of 23 to get 143. Then I'm going to add 25 to get 168. And I'm going to add 27 to get 195. And then what I notice there, On day 13, he had 195. On day 13, Allie had 195. So on what day will their total number of push-ups be the same? This will be on the 13th day. And on this day, they will have completed a total of 195. All right. So that concludes the warm-up. Let's go ahead and pause right here, guys. And we will pick up on 3.2 tomorrow. Okay, 3.2 tomorrow. You may start your RSG homework.